sign up to be a police officer or PSO, you swear an oath that you will serve the community without favour or affection, malice or ill will. This permanent pandemic laws are incompatible with that oath of office. It is incompatible with the Victoria Police Code of Ethics, which say your ability to serve is founded in relationships with the community, which willingly gives you its permission to serve through the power it entrusts to you. The people are not willingly giving you the power. Daniel Andrews is. I ask my former colleagues, are you going to enforce mandates based on attributes, religious beliefs, political beliefs, age, gender, sexual orientation? All these things that you are taught not to discriminate against in your daily duties. Where is your line in the sand? The powers conferred in this bill are not needed in Victoria. If Daniel Andrews wanted an extension to the current state of emergency powers, he could have easily written a less offensive bill amendment to achieve that. This bill allows Daniel Andrews to enact and enforce discrimination, lockdowns, shutdowns and restrictions for public safety, even when there are 0 cases of COVID in the state. It is entirely incompatible with basic human rights. During a pandemic, when it is necessary to restrict or remove basic liberties, the restrictions must be proportionate and necessary to manage the risk, and they must be the minimum necessary to achieve public health aims. Daniel Andrews says that we will go beyond 90% double vaccination rates in Victoria. He also says that vaccination prevents serious illness from COVID. So why does he need more powers to protect us when he claims it's achievable through vaccination? Locking people up who are not vaccinated and not even infected is a disproportionate measure, but it's one that Daniel Andrews wants as a power because he says that unvaccinated people are taking up beds in hospitals that would otherwise be used by people suffering heart attacks and other illnesses. If this was about people's health and managing an overburdened health system that he let go to the wolves, why not lock up the smokers, the drug users and the alcoholics? You know, for their health and well-being, and to reduce their impost on our health system. That's right, especially given that AOD stats between 2017 and 18 said that 72,190 hospital admissions were directly related to alcohol consumption. But to quote Daniel Andrews, we will not play those games because we don't discriminate against personal choices of people. Yet he wants the ability to discriminate not only against your personal choices when it comes to vaccination, but also against your attributes that are protected under the Equal Opportunity Act. We have seen how this pandemic response has played out, mandate after mandate, rule and directions followed by heavy-handed police response to meter out punishments to those who dare disobey. This will not change, but will in fact get far worse and become the most undemocratic, arbitrary, discriminatory act of our time. A big part of why I left the police force was because I saw the path the government was leading us down. The show us your papers path. The discrimination by exclusion path. And at the helm of these enforcements would be me and other police officers. I choose to stand on the right side of history, and I refuse to stay a part of an organisation that would willingly breach and refuse to stay a part of an organisation that would willingly breach its own oath of office, its own code of ethics, its own organisational values to be the obedient slave to Daniel Andrews' discriminatory laws. This bill will be enforced by police. State-sanctioned overt discrimination linked to criminal outcomes by way of arrest, detainment and court procedures. Not because a person committed a crime, a rape, an assault, family violence or robbing a person in the street, but because Daniel Andrews will have the ability to use the powers of this bill to discriminate against your religious beliefs, your political affiliations, your age, sex and gender. And there doesn't have to be a single case of COVID in Victoria for him to direct Victoria Police to enforce them. This bill gives him the power to have someone jailed for 2 years if they breach a rule under this new act. I know rapists and child abusers who have received less jail time for their crimes. This is abhorrent and wrong, and every single Victorian who cares about justice, fairness, equality and human rights ought to be outraged and disgusted at this Labor government power grab. Daniel Andrews obnoxiously disregarded the open letter written by 14 Queen's Counsel barristers, which has grown to some 25 senior legal fraternity lawyers that have said on record that this bill is egregious to democracy. He's not interested in their opinion. He says, let the upper house decide. The upper house, where he's already done his backdoor dealings, preference swapping agreements and single-issue party decisions with the likes of Patton, Medic and Ratnam. He hasn't consulted the upper house in its entirety, and he doesn't care about the upper house's opinions. He only cares about getting his power grab and working with the people who will give it to him. Daniel Andrews is right when he says that this bill builds on New Zealand and New South Wales legislation. It builds all right. It's built in a new Berlin Wall on the foundation of division, discrimination and a massive power grab. Victoria, stand up. Your Berlin Wall has had the first bricks laid when the lower house moved this overzealous bill through its doors and into the upper house, where they will lay the last bricks of tyranny. When it is completed, it will be the police who will be the sentry guards atop that wall of tyranny, enforcing segregation. The Premier and the Health Minister will have incontestable power to indefinitely keep Victorians in lockdown, and Victoria Police will be at the forefront of that enforcement. The relationship between community and police is already at an all-time low. 76% of Victorians thought very highly of Victoria Police in 2017, but by the state's fourth lockdown, that fell to 42%. Well less than half of all Victorians have faith in Victoria Police right now, and who can blame them? With this new bill, Victoria Police will become the protection squad of the Daniel Andrews administration. To my ex-colleagues, I say to you, at what point will you push back? Don't enforce fines to businesses that are already struggling, who are choosing not to discriminate. Don't issue fines you know in your heart are morally wrong. I know, a great many of you already are, and I and the community thank you for that. For those that are unsure, remember the law, remember your training. If you are directed by a superior to issue a ticket, obey the direction and write it out, but hand it to them to sign. Let them be the one to put their name, rank and number on that ticket. Let them be the one to own the responsibility for the ticket and the inevitable court procedure, and see how many will do it. They cannot force you to sign that ticket. You and you alone have the choice of discretion, so use it. You didn't join this job to treat the Victorian community like this. I know you didn't, so just don't. Do not participate in state-sanctioned discrimination. Where is your line in the sand? The blue flu is real, guys, and you can use it any time. Make use of it. Stay strong, Victoria. We may have another 12 months of this overbearing rule, but there will be a political revolution come November 2022, where the minority parties that stand for democracy, liberty and freedom will prevail. I know it. You know it. Daniel Andrews knows it. We are coming.